Hey everybody, it's Brian back. Just got home from the comic shop and I'm going to sort my new books into I read it today and read it when I get to pile. So this first book, I don't think it's a new book this week. It's just one that I have heard good things about and thought I would check it out. And I think this is actually from a month ago or a month back. I'm not 100% sure, but it's Lazarus, number 5. And I think I'm going to put this in my Read It Today pile just because I've heard good things about the book and I'm curious about it. Next one going into my Read It Today pile is Chew, number 39. Um, yeah, I don't understand why my webcam throws it up there like a mirror, but whatever. This next book is another image book. It's called Deadly Class, number 1. One of the guys at the comic shop recommended it, said he thinks it's a good book so far, so or will be a good book, or he's heard good things. I don't know. Anyways, it was recommended, so I decided I'd check it out. I'm noticing that I really do. I'm enjoying a lot of the non-superhero related books from Image. A lot of the artwork doesn't necessarily appeal to me as far as just based on the artwork alone, but the writing is what really gets me hooked with these books, these newer non-superhero related Image books, which for me is when Image first started, it was all about the artwork. I mean, well, I'll say me. I was one of the sheep that followed those guys over to Image, and the artwork was amazing in almost all of their books, with except for maybe Shadowhawk and Rob Liefeld's books. But even in the books that were amazing with artwork, like Spawn lost me early. I wouldn't really want to say early because it took about 50 or so issues before I finally gave up on Spawn. But even when he had good writers on the book, it was a very confusing book to me, and I just didn't really swallow it took a long time for me to give up on Spawn. But my two favorite issues of Spawn, I think, were in the 40s, and it was Harry Houdini was in the book. It was 2 issues in a row. But enough on that. I'm going to go to the Avengers, number 25. And yeah, I'll read that today. Cataclysm, Ultimate Comics, X-Men, number 3, when I get to it. Dead Body Road, number 2. It's another Skybound book. They seem to be putting out a lot of good books. It's an Image book, but it's by Skybound Studios, I guess. I read the first issue of this. It left off. I liked it. It's a pretty good book so far. It reminds me of something in the vein of Reservoir Dogs. But it left off on a little cliffhanger, and so I think I want to get into this today and figure out what happened. Again, Dead Body Road, number 2. So far, my Read It Today book or pile's it's going to be much bigger. Next up, I've got Eternal Warrior, number 5. Eternal Emperor. If I'm not mistaken, this book takes place in the future. Gilad is looking old, and which is strange because for 5,000 years he hasn't aged, but he's old in this book. Next up, I have the Pole Box edition of number 5. I gotta say, I think I like this cover better. Next up is probably one of the few DC books I read. It's Harley Quinn number 2. Now, with issue 1, somebody gave her a building I think in New York, and so she's moved to New York, and it's near Coney Island, whatever, and she's moving into that place, and I think this is supposed to follow on with that after that, and she figures out who everybody is, who owes her money, who she can get money from. So I think I'm going to stick with it for a little bit, see how it works out, see how I enjoy it. I gotta say, though, I'm not a huge fan of Harley Quinn's look in this because I still like the animated Batman costume a lot. And like I heard somebody else say on one of their videos, she looks like a whore now, maybe. But I'm going to put that in my Read It Today pile. Origins number 2. I don't have much to say about. I'm going to put it in my read it when I get to it pile. Another Image book. It's Pretty Deadly. I think it's issue 4. I haven't read these yet. I'm going to collect those for 4 or 5 issues, or 5 or 6 issues to read them all at once. Kind of like a trade. I've gotten into this thing lately where I'm just, for some books, I just save them up and read them all at once like a trade. I guess it's more enjoyable that way. Don't feel like I guess I feel like I'm getting more money worth by reading it all at once, so it doesn't take me on the 10, 15 minutes to read it. Take me a little bit longer. Next up, Superior Spider-Man Team Up, number 9. I'm gonna read this when I get to it. I have been enjoying the Superior Spider-Man Team Up stuff. It's kind of cool. Next up is definitely going in my Read It Today pile because I really have been enjoying the all-new X-Men books. This is number 22, not number 1. This is bullshit. It should go away. Alright, next up, it'll go in my Read It Today pile just because it's a quick read. It's a quick read every month. One day I'm probably going to count the pages of the story and see how many pages we're actually getting because it's such a quick read. Walking Dead number 20. When are they gonna fuck Negan up? Huh? When is he gonna be done? This storyline's just fucking dragging on and on and on and on and on. Alright, next up. This is gonna go in my Read It Now pile too. And I'm really liking this character right here. This is, by the way, X-Men, and it's issue 9. She's really cool so far. Really like her. Her name escapes me just because I read a lot of books now and a lot of stuff for work, or I'm sorry, for school. But she's just a really cool character. She's basically Lady Deathstrike in a Latina's body now, but I think it's cool. I think her look, the Sugar Skull look, is pretty cool. Next up is one of the books from, well, actually all of the books from Valiant I enjoy, but this is the one that usually is up on my to read soon list. And it's XO Man of War. I really like this guy. I really, back in the day, I think I have all of the XO books from number 1 up until Acclaim got their hands on the company and just gutted it for no good reason. Anyways, XO Man of War 21. Yeah, I'll read that one today. Now, these next 4 books. Last week I said I was going to pick a favorite cover of the week every week, and you got to remember that these are just the covers that I picked up. So I've seen some books, some other covers on other books that I really think are cool and all of that, but I didn't buy them. So I can only, for my channel, I can only pick a cover every week from a book that I bought. This first one is Inhumanity. It's an Inhumanity tie-in, sorry, but it's Mighty Avengers number 5. This is up there for cover of the week for me because we get to see Peter Parker, or Spider-Man. This is the Superior Spider-Man getting his little face smashed in by what looks to be Luke Cage right there. So I'm going to set this right here. This is going to go on my Read It Today pile, but I'm going to just set this aside because it's one of the 4 that I'm thinking on, and by the time I'm done with this, I'm hoping I'll have picked one. Next up is the all-new Invaders, and it's a Scotty Young variant. So I think there's a few Invaders missing. Don't know where they all went to, but I remember reading the Invaders back in the day, and there were definitely more than just these 4 characters. And this will get read today as well. Next up, I got number 2 of Avengers World, and this is in consideration because I really like this cover. It's for my cover of the week. This character's kind of interesting to me. Sorry. Anyways, she's kind of interesting to me. I've only been introduced to her through this the newer line of Avengers books. But she does for all of the, I mean, it seems like everybody in the Marvel Universe that's not a villain is an Avenger right now. So, of all those many characters, she kind of has caught my attention a little bit. Again, I think her name is Smasher or something. I read a lot of books. New characters' names don't always stick with me right away. But this may be one. This last book is the last book I picked up this week. I'm sorry, it's the last new book I picked up. And this comic goes back to my childhood, and it was one of my favorite books when I was a kid. And it's ElfQuest, and this is issue 1 of the final quest. And that's Cutter, Lita, and I don't know who this cat over here is because I didn't really keep up with the ElfQuest universe after they started doing all the other, like, Blood of 10 Chiefs and all those other titles. It was a lot for me to try to keep up with. But this is one of my considerations for my cover of the week, just because of, nostalgia purposes. But honestly, I think I'm going to pick this one for this week, just because I really like that Doc Ock is getting his face smashed in by Luke Cage there. So that's it. I'm going to get to reading these books because they're awesome. Or most of them are. Oh, wait. I got one more book to show you. It's a back issue I picked up. And I picked this one up just because I like the cover. I like the black, the white, and the red. And it's number 8 of Moon Knight. I think it's a really, looks like Moon Knight's losing his mind there over something, and he's laughing. It's almost a Joker-esque cover, the way he's losing his mind there and laughing like that. But anyway, that's going to wrap up my video. And thanks for watching. Galactus says thanks for watching. And you guys have a good day. Like, favorite, subscribe, whatever.